morning. I'm Carlton Sharp, pastor of Faith Christian Center Church right here in Beaumont, Texas. And we're here on what's happening in our neighborhood. And today my special guest is Mr. Bill Sam. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you.
Mr. Sam, we go back a long way.
Long
I
way.
mean, we used to sit in the barbershop together.
Yeah. That's good.
To get our haircut.
Get a haircut.
Yeah.
And talk about good things.
Talk about good things.
And that's what we're going to do
That's what
today.
we're going to do today. Exactly.
That's good. All right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, let's just start it off. Let me say thank you for having me. Thanks for letting me share this wonderful day with you. It's my pleasure. My name is WHION Bill Sam. Bobo comes from my grandfather.
Oh.
And so I was tagged with that name. But Bill came from my work era. So I got quite a few names. But I'm happy to say that I'm from Beaumont, and I've been involved for a number of years, which you've known and participated with. My present involvement right now is I'm involved with the at-large candidate for the city. I served in 2015 for Jamie Smith when he was promoted up to district clerk, and now I'm filling Get Williams' term out.
Yeah.
And so I've really been happy. I've had the pleasure of serving the city since I retired. I retired in 2005.
Mr. Sam, you ain't retired. You still active in everything.
But it's so much fun. I mean, still able to give back to a city that's given me so much. I mean, the city have given me my family, my lifestyle, my foundation, and friends and family. So, I mean, I've just been blessed to have lived there. So here's an opportunity now for me to make a contribution. And going back to what I was saying in 2005 when I retired, I got involved in the city council. I got assigned to committees, involved in these committees to make things better. And I think what the too important was the block grant program. That's really had developed into a very good program, and the police advisory committee. And so I served on those committees and stayed involved with the city to learn and to get involved for whenever the time presented itself where we need people to step up and make some changes and do that. And that's why I'm still involved. So to serve in this position has been an honor for me.
Wow, Mr. Sam. Wow. You know, we had those conversations many a time, many a days. You know?
Yeah. And it's an everlasting battle that we go into, and you know that. You got the spiritual side of it. I got the rough side of it. But it's okay. But let me tell you a little bit more about myself. Okay. Like I said, I was born here, raised here, born here in the South End. My wife is from the North End. We have 3 grown kids, and we have 5 grandchildren.
So since you from the South, she's from the North, y'all met in the middle?
Met in the middle. Oh, Reverend, that's good. And we still in the middle. We're still doing great, thank God. But we had a wonderful career. She worked for the Energy, I'm sorry.
Right.
And I worked for the National AFL-CIO. So I did 18 years with the National AFL-CIO out of D.C. So, and then we got our education. We didn't complete college, but we got enough credit to get decent jobs. So I attended Blessed Sacrament High School here out in the South End, so I'm still tied into my old community. I attended several schools. High school, I attended Hebert also.
Wow.
So, you know, eventually I graduated. Eventually I graduated, but it was a good experience. I attended Texas Southern University, attended Lamar, but I actually got tied into labor and went to their labor study schools where I really got my training in leadership training and trained the trainers and kind of stuff like that, political involvement and stuff on that stepped me up, learning how to assist and how to negotiate, how to help the people that are less fortunate than us. So that's where I really got a real start in life and really enjoying myself. I'm still presently involved in a number of things, our Mother Mercy Catholic Church, Sabine Area Labor Council, the NAACP, the Finance Committee for the Diocese, the senior citizen groups. You know, we didn't got to that age where, not you're blessed still. And I'm still doing involvement. And so it makes life great because you can still make a contribution. And so it's been a fantastic giving back kind of program,
yeah.
and working with various people in the community. Have had the pleasure of being in your company and sharing relationship and future,
right.
and talking about things and talking about where we need to go. We had some wonderful discussions. I don't think we really agreed on a lot.
Well, we did agree on some things, Mr. Sam. We did.
Agreed on something, but you know, it was fun, the discussion, because it was always fun
Right,
to talk
right.
about them and sit back and pick the things that we wanted to work. And so, you know, it was a blessing, an opportunity to see the other side.
Right.
To see the other side. You know, you from the spiritual side, I'm from the labor side.
Right.
And all the things that makes a better life for everybody else is the contributions, because you got to have some economics involved in this spiritual stuff too.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, Mr. Sam, now you've been sitting on the city council for a while. What are some of the biggest challenges that you see that the city is facing right now?
Well, in various communities, there's difference. You know, the biggest challenge in the areas that I'm in, I've covered the whole city. Being at large,
Right.
the wonderful thing, you get to work with everybody.
That's right.
You get to know everybody,
Uh-huh.
and you get to share a lot of thoughts and hear people's ideas. But right now, and say the older area, the North End, the Pear Orchard, the South Park area, infrastructure is our big issue.
Yeah.
Okay, and people is not quite understanding that, you know, that's a lot bigger than what we realize, because it's all underground stuff we're talking about.
We don't see it every day.
We don't see it every day. We have to wait till something erupt before we can go to it and correct it. And I think right now, with the amount of complaints, with the amount of water that we're receiving, and on the ground and going through the sewer lines, that is testing this. It's just a test. It's a test. So to me, I use the term, a lot of people don't like for me to say that, but I can't leave first base until I can't go to second till first is taken care of.
Right.
And right now, that infrastructure is the big issue. People, the city is headed that directions. We're getting it done. We're getting it done as fast as we can, and it's a problem. Okay, but it's coming. The infrastructure have to be improved. It's being improved, and people tends to want things done today, where it doesn't work that way. Right. And it works a lot better if you're willing to pay. You know,
but nobody wants higher taxes.
Nobody wants higher taxes, you know. And the sad part about it, Jamie Smith, who's a friend of mine, they used to thrive, no tax increase. And so I can't walk in there and say, all right, we got to have tax, we need to fix the streets. But we're gonna get it done. And so the city is totally committed to making that happen. And we're totally committed to making it go forward and trying to improve. And they are. It just costs a lot of money. People don't realize.
And also, Mr. Sam, people don't realize that as a city council member, you don't run the city.
That's right.
We have a city manager that actually runs the day-to-day operation of the city that reports to the city council. Can you explain that process?
Yeah. Well, the city, you know, this has been in place for a number of years, and I think it's a good process, because we're not having everybody, all the various city council, making deals and trying to get things done. We have two people that really report directly to the council. That's the city manager and the city attorney.
Okay.
That's getting the job done.
Gotcha.
Now, let me say this, and I want to make it clear. You have to give. With the barbershop talk, we would say the devil is due. If we was in the barbershop. But we're not going to say that now. We're going to say that these people deserve the right. When we hear the term a good fund balance, when we hear that the city is in financial stable condition, when we hear that the city is progressing financially with sales and what have you, when we hear that the taxes are being paid and all, that tells you that you're headed in the right direction.
Right.
I mean, if you're struggling and having a financial difficulty and all the other things are erupting, like the sewer lines, the drainage, and the streets, and you don't have any money, and you know, it makes it hard. So you have to give the devil his due again and say that those people have done a fantastic job. I will say this, and talk about leadership in a sense, and when you look at when I first got involved, I looked at the relationship with say, the fire department and the city leaders, the city managers and the city attorneys and what have you.
Right.
And where that relationship was at. When I look and how that was turned around, how that came together. Okay, you got the fire department and you got the city leaders working together like a team.
Right.
And here we the guys that comes in and make sure everything's okay. Then you have the police department, which and go back, we had some issues there. We
did.
We had a beat down and some other stuff that took place, and we had to make some changes in the department. And I got promoted or asked to serve as the police advisory committee chairman.
Right.
And bringing those two departments together was a fantastic thing for the city, because when everybody's working on the same page, and everybody can sit down and talk,
we can make progress.
We can make progress. Now, let's take about the people that's down in the holes in the trenches getting it all done. Those are the people that really, the relationship, when you pull up to people that's working on the street and speak to them, they speak with a smile. They're proud of their work. And the relationship that I think I contribute is bringing these people together, being a part of that, making everybody come together. And it goes back to where I come from. I come from the National AFL-CIO. I come from an organization where when you had the Teamsters and you had the Boilermakers, you got to bring to the table wasn't an easy job.
Yeah,
right?
wasn't an easy job.
No, that leadership skill, you had to get ready, because it's going to be a war. It's going to be a war. But we got it done. And when you look at labor on the national level, when you look at what's going on in the city and putting people in the room and having people understand that the goals are the same, the approach might be different. So you look at where we've progressed. Look what the city has progressed. We got a lot of positive things to say about the city. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. So what can you do to promote growth and development for the city of Beaumont? I mean, there's a 10-year plan. I know you guys plan out. Far in advance, your forecast, what is possible?
Well, my concern right now is growth and development. Okay, and when you look at the number of expansion companies coming into this city, when we look at our issues that hurts this city right now, when we look at our trained workforce, okay, when we can bring all that together and start dealing with those issues. And the big one for me, and this, I'm not trying to get in any kind of conversation about this, our education system have to move up, have to go forward. That education have to become the number one thing to get people to want to come in. And we're not hiding from the fact that we know a lot of people, when they ask to be transferred into the city, they want to know what education level, where's education. And so that have to be high on that priority list. Okay. The other thing with all these companies, because of all the good things we have here in the city, we got the waterway, we got the highways, we got what we need, the railroad to take things forward. We got the port. Okay, so we have to come together. We have to deal with that. Now, I have a little thing in the back of my mind that I experienced in I guess in 87, 80, 89 with working in Portland, Oregon, how they came together. And I'm thinking about how I want to do that if God bless me to continue to serve, and saying, let's come to the table, let's come clear heads, come to the table, sit down, and let's draw up a plan to move this city forward. And the top of that list, okay, is education for me.
Wow.
Because I used to say in the early 70s that I could destroy this city without scratching a match. A lot of people didn't like for me to say that, but that was the truth.
I hear you. So, Mr. Sam, now you have a 5-part plan for your campaign. Can you talk about those things?
Yeah, I'd love to. Okay. And I really believe in this. I like to, because I get off track in a minute, so I have to kind of get it straight in my head. My campaign is, we call it the 5 L's.
The 5 L's.
5 principles. 1 is love. 2 is to listen. 3 is to learn. 4 is to lead. And 5 is to live. 1 to love. I said at the beginning of this conversation, I love this city.
Right.
I love the people of this city. And, even going back as far as you and I go back to meet at a barbershop.
Yeah, at a
to
barbershop.
develop a relationship from that. And to meet on different occasions, it's a blessing. I mean, I love it when I go church and see my old classmates. So I love not only this city, but I love the people of this city because they was part of my foundation growing up. They was part of me to make me to where we are.
Today, huh?
That's right. Thank you. Now, this doesn't sound true to some people. Listen, my wife said I don't, but I think I do. I listen. But that's one of them. Yeah. I can't get her to agree with that one. I listen to the needs of the people. And I think that's, we have certain groups of things we have to do. We have to run the city, okay? But we also need to hear what the people think and what they feel,
right.
okay? And what their concerns are and what affects them, what motivates them. How can we move them to the table with us? How can we listen to them, make sure that they're being heard as well as everybody else being heard?
Correct.
And I do feel that the council itself does an excellent job of that. Now, the approach or the strategy might be a little bit different, but they do listen. And, of course, learn. Number 3, learn. I've learned from you that you can't be hard-nosed, you can't be ugly. When you were sitting in that barbershop, you tell me, well, you got to be a little bit more patient, Mr. Sam. And we thank God for that. We thank God for your blessing to share with me, to keep me with a level head, to try to understand how to help and not be short patient about it.
Right.
So you learn from everyone. You learn from your family. You can learn from your children. And now I think people readily accept that. Now the lead. I kind of opened my statement saying lead. I know I can lead. But I'm not the type of leader that likes to be out front. I like to sit back and let you do your thing, and then when there's an issue and I have to step in, I attempt to be. I don't attempt. I know I'm capable of doing it. Stepping up and lead. But you got to lead with integrity. You got to lead where people can trust you and feel that whatever your word is, whatever you say to them, is going to be there and trust you. So I feel good about that because people do tend to want to believe that I will do what they ask me to do. Right. Okay, now lift. We need to lift the community up. A lot of people want to downplay how bad Beaumont is, how bad this is. It aggravates me.
We have some good things going on, Mr.
We got some good things going on.
Yeah.
It aggravates me because no one talked to me about the positive things that's going on. They want to just talk about the negative. So let's lift Beaumont up, okay? I lift Beaumont up because this is my home. So people says, well, you've been blessed and fortunate. You lived in other places. I lived 5.5 years in Oregon. I lived a year in Denver. I lived in Philadelphia. I lived in D.C. So, I've been blessed.
Yeah.
But what I did, I always came back home.
Came home.
Because why? Number 1, family, friends, and love was here. And so that's why I'm here. That's why this city have built me to what I am today. And to have friends and family. And what's funny about it, my daughter had a wreck on Interstate 10. And a kid passing in a car heard her screaming and hollering, recognized her voice, and went tracked us down.
Wow.
So when you're at home, people know you if you're doing the right thing. So that's my 5 L's.
Wow. So how's the campaign going, Mr. Sam?
Sounds really good. It looks good. I think people are happy with it. It's a number of people in the race. My concern would be that I'll tell anybody, your concern, if you decide to seek a public office, it should be a genuine. It should be a commitment coming from you. When I see people jumping in a race that you never see at city council meeting, you never see involved in anything, saying that I'm going to run for office, and I go, why? Because you should show some commitment to that office, planning and strategy to get involved. And of course, we did that even in the barbershop, talked about what needs to be done in the city and who needs to do it. So, it goes back to the campaign, people is pushing me. I'll say it a little bit plainer. I'll make it a little bit clearer. In my heart and my mind, the city has been overwhelmingly thankful and made contributions to my campaign, been out there doing what I want them to do, and I've just been honored to be here with you, to get an opportunity to go out to more people and to share it. We will share it with other people. That's a great way. This is giving them a choice.
Yeah. Now, and it's interesting you say a choice because there's 7 people running for the at-large position that you're currently running for, a total of 7, including yourself. Now, can you explain to the people who are watching today on how the process works, where they can vote for one or either 2 candidates for city council at large?
You can vote for 2.
Uh-huh.
They can vote for 2. Each one of them serve. The 2 top vote getters is the people that will serve.
Okay.
Okay. And we serve the whole city.
Yeah.
So we're open to the whole city, and it's just a simple thing. The 2 top vote getters get it. Now, some people say, well, vote for 1. Okay. Well, you have a choice of voting for 2.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And so that's their choice. That's their call.
Yeah, because each person, and I try to explain this all the time, have at least 4 votes for city council. You have the mayor, you have your ward council person, and then you have at least 2 at-large positions.
Right.
2 at-large positions that they can vote for.
Right. And the fortunate thing with that large position, having the opportunity to serve the whole city.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to make sure that you put the right person in there that is committed and have a concern about the whole city.
Right.
Okay, and some areas of the city, you just want to get it a smooth area. You know, you don't want to dress it up. We just want it livable where people can enjoy a comfortable life. And so you have to look at someone that wants to make sure that all areas are attended to.
Yeah.
And Get Williams, who was in this position before, did an excellent job of that. She was involved in the whole community, and so I think that's important. You know, is serving the city. You can work along with their representative for that ward, and assist him, and to share that information. And I want to touch on one other thing.
Go right ahead.
What I find most helpful to me, and we'd like to get you involved in some of this, is the neighborhood association.
Right.
Okay, I tell people they come to City Hall, and they can raise sand for 3 minutes. I have to listen to you for 3 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I have to listen to you.
Right.
But at the neighborhood association, when we can talk as long as we want, as long as somebody is listening, we can talk about the issues that affect just that little area there.
Right.
Okay, well, we can get things
Specific.
done specific.
Yeah.
I'm a big promoter of neighborhood associations coming together and saying, here's what our problem. For an example, like you saw the incident where the young man got killed the other day.
Correct.
How the community stepped up.
Right.
Okay, and neighborhood association, they talk about the police are there every month giving reports about what transpired in their neighborhood that month, and saying, what do you need to do to improve?
Wow.
Okay, how do we need to protect our city? How do we need to watch each other back? How do we need, when we see our neighbor walks off and go down the street and leave the garage door open?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a lot of things that the neighborhood association can spend time talking about. You can spend as long as you want or short as you want. So I'm a promoter of that.
Yeah, and the 3 minutes at the council, doesn't give you enough adequate time to really, share.
And we can't answer back. We can't talk back to you. So.
Wow. But at the neighborhood association, you can.
Oh, yeah.
And they could put their hands on you and touch it and say, hey, Mr. Sam, this is what we're going through in our neighborhood.
Right. And that's where you find that you're able to discuss directly what involved in your area.
Wow.
And that's what I really like that. And I think the city have done a fantastic job. We just need more and more areas. Matter of fact, Councilman Mouton had a meeting the other day with the South Park area, and there were some nice discussions.
Wow.
Good discussions, some of the type of discussions you and I had.
Hey, no, let me tell you something. Look, me and Mr. Sam used to have a great conversation at the barbershop. We talked about issues all across our city.
We solved a lot of problems.
We solved a lot of problems in the barbershop. So, Mr. Sam, in our closing moments, why don't you look at the camera and tell the people of the city why they should vote for you for city councilman at large?
Okay, I would like to do that. I'm very happy to do that. They should vote for me because my years of experience, the things that I've been involved in on the national level, my experiences working with other cities, other organizations, other industries to bring people together for a common goal. Okay, I have worked for years in organized labor to bring people to the table and have them sit down. The training in leadership that I've had, I used to love the training of train the trainer, okay? And that was always an amazing thing, to teach people how to train other people to lead and what have you. My involvement in the community helped me stand out a little bit more because of the commitment that I've put before the community for a number of years. So and my love for the city and my commitment for doing it, I just thank God that I'm able to do it, and my wife and my family is supportive of me doing it, and so that's a real blessing, Reverend, in my thinking, that God has given me the strength. And like the Bishop Guillory always say, much is given and much is required.
Yes.
And I thank God that I'm able to, at this age, at this stage of the game, and the thing that we need to do, one of the most important things, is to get the young people to come aboard and pass the baton over to them, and let them understand that now we're here to boost you up, to lift you up, and to help you go forward. So I'm committed to this city. Like I said, I've had opportunities to live in other places and live, but I chose this place because, number one, this is home. This is where I got my start. This is where my foundation is. This is where my family is. I love Beaumont, and I need your vote.
Well, listen, I want to thank Mr. Sam for coming to talk to us today, and I want to thank you for joining us on what's happening in our neighborhood. And we will see you next time on our broadcast.
Council Member at Large, Bill Bobo Sam. I'm asking for your vote. My wife Mary and I are from Beaumont. We've raised our family here. My community involvement includes the Police Advisory Board, working with the Fire Department, Community Development Block Grant, and youth mentorship. I'm building my campaign on 5 principles. First is love. I love our city and all the people in our city. Second, listen. I listen to hear and understand the needs and concerns of others. Third, learn. I learn from everyone, family, friends, neighbors, and leaders. Fourth, lead. I lead with understanding, compassion, and integrity. And the fifth, lift. I am Council Member at Large, Bill Sam. Join me in creating an exceptional tomorrow today.